The last time we talked about the LEGO Star Wars retirement class this year, it had 32 sets on it. But unless you've been living under a rock for the last week, you've probably heard that 7 of the most popular LEGO Star Wars sets have been pushed back 1 year to now retire at the end of 2025. The change to the retirement list happened just after May the 4th, right after LEGO put a lot of these sets on special discount, and right after investors snapped up a bunch of copies of them. So how is this change going to affect LEGO Star Wars going forward? Let's get into it. The first set that was pushed back was the 75357 Ghost and Phantom 2. This set only came out in September of 2023, so it was going to be a little bit unlikely that it retire at the end of this year anyway. With these larger play sets of over $100, LEGO usually gives them closer to a 2 or 2.5 year shelf life, sometimes even more. I did think very highly of this set for investment. I thought there was a chance that it could retire at the end of this year under everyone's noses and go on to be an amazing investment because of the low supply on the aftermarket. Like I said, this was always a high risk choice to pick up this set, and at $160, it was always a long shot that it was going to retire with a 16-month shelf life. If we look at the last Amazon exclusive, the Razor Crest, we can see that set launched in September of 2020 and stuck around for over 3 years. I purchased 1 of this set from LEGO directly and 3 from Amazon, and while I certainly could return the Amazon copies, sometimes this is just part of the game. It's part of the risk of buying sets before the retirement list has really solidified by about September. The best course of action, in my opinion, not financial advice, I never give financial advice on the channel, is just to liquidate the set at whatever price you can get for it. Even if you take a small loss, it's better to take that loss and reinvest that capital into sets that will be retiring soon and beginning to grow in value. If you are going to do retailer returns, I think you would want to do a smaller number of returns on higher valued items. So if you ordered an equal number of, say, the Ghost and Phantom 2 and the Executor Super Star Destroyer, what I would do is I would return the copies of the Ghost and maybe liquidate the Executors, since taking a 10 or 20% hit on those is only going to be a couple of bucks. The next set that's been pushed back is the Coruscant Guard Gunship. Similar story with this one. It's $140 and it launched at the same time as the Ghost. If we look at past examples of Republic gunships though, the original from back in 2002 had a 1 year, 8-month shelf life. The 2008 Clone Wars version, I actually had this version growing up, it's an awesome set, that had a 2-year flat shelf life. And the 2013 version only had a 1.5 year shelf life also. So looking at these past examples of playscale gunships, maybe it was somewhat likely that this set would retire with a 1.5 year shelf life. A 1 year and 4 months would be a little bit on the short side, whereas getting extended an entire year and having a 2-year, 4-month shelf life would be a little on the longer side. In any case, it's not unreasonably long for a set of this scale and price point. Now, I did order one of these sets you can see here on May the 3rd to take advantage of the May the 4th promos. Because it was on back order, this order did not ship or charge my card immediately, and so I was able to cancel the order before it actually shipped, which in LEGO's system is a lot more favorable than returning an order once it is shipped to you. I took less of a gamble with the gunship. I only ordered 1 copy and I was able to cancel it, so no harm, no foul there. It does suck to miss out on 1 copy of the Droid Carrier GWP, which is off to a great start, but that's well worth it to not have to sit on $140 of inventory when it's not even scheduled to retire. If you only purchased 1 copy, well, an easy solution is just to enjoy that copy, open it up and build it for personal enjoyment, subtract it from your inventory, and consider that purchase a personal splurge instead of an investment. But for any investors who purchased a lot of these particular sets that got pushed back, I would be looking into either returning them or just liquidating them at market price, whatever you can get for them. It's still better than having your money sit on the shelf for years and years. The next set that got extended is one that I do have behind me. It's on the shelf right up there. The 75356 Executor Super Star Destroyer from the Starship collection. A lot of people were really excited to see how this set performed after retirement, since it's the first in the new line of Starship collection sets. Launched last May, if it retired at the end of this year, it would have had a 20-month shelf life, which would have put it right on par with some of the early entries in other adult-oriented Star Wars sub-themes, such as helmets and dioramas. Looking here at the first 2 helmets that retired, the TIE Fighter pilot and the Stormtrooper, those had 1 year, 8-month shelf lives. Boba Fett, of course, got extended a year. Darth Vader, we're going to talk about in a minute, but the next set to retire, the Scout Trooper, also a 1 year, 8-month shelf life. If we look here at the diorama collection, the other adult-oriented sub-theme, the first 3 all had a shelf life of 1 year, 8 months. So I don't think it was that crazy for investors to think this set might retire after 1 year, 8 months, but for whatever reason, LEGO has decided it wants to keep this set around, not just for the rest of 2024, but throughout 2025. And like the Ghost and Phantom that we were just talking about, this is a retailer exclusive. It's exclusive to Walmart in the USA. So I would expect that the production numbers be lower on this set compared to other Starship collection sets. As far as how this might affect other sets in the sub-theme, we have the Invisible Hand, which is a Target exclusive in the US. If that retires at the end of next year, then that will have a shorter shelf life than even this Executor. And Target exclusives do have a great track record of performing well after they retire. Because it's a retailer exclusive, usually you will have a lower supply on the secondary market. And that means that as the smaller supply supply dwindles, the price will shoot up even faster than for non-exclusive sets. The next set that got pushed back is the Darth Vader helmet. This was part of that second wave of helmet releases alongside the Scout Trooper, and at $80, it's the most expensive Star Wars helmet. It is scheduled to stick around until the end of 2025, which I think will do some favors to the other retired helmets and the retiring ones at the end of 2024, the Princess Leia Boushh and the Commander Cody. And I think having a third helmet on shelves alongside the Mandalorian helmet in gray and the Captain Rex in white and blue is going to give the helmets both more shelf presence at retailers and keep them a lot more relevant. In the long run, I am still bullish on this set. I think it's going to be a really good investment, but now with this leak, the time to buy this is going to be in 2025, not in 2024. The next set to be extended, 75347, the TIE Bomber, launched at the beginning of 2023. It now looks like this set is going to stick around for a 3-year shelf life. I do really like this set for investment, partly because the $45 TIE Fighter that just retired last year is off to a pretty decent start. On Amazon, it's only up to around $50, but this set was widely available for $30 and even for Walmart at Black Friday, $25. So if you could buy for $25 at Black Friday and sell on Amazon for $50 just 6 months later, before fees, that's doubling your money, and after fees, that's at least a 50% return on investment in less than 6 months. The next set to get pushed back is the 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack. I was so high on this set in our tier list ranking with KDX Bricks Analytics. Launched alongside the TIE Bomber in 2023. This would have had a 2-year shelf life. Now it's scheduled to have a 3-year shelf life, a lot like the 501st Clone Troopers set from 2020. And of course, this is going to affect investing because now the only battle pack retiring this year is the 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Trooper Battle Pack. Launched in August of 2023, I really thought this would be the battle pack that would get extended, not the 501st. So now it looks like 501st will have a 3-year shelf life, whereas this set, still scheduled to retire at the end of the year, is only going to have a 16-month shelf life. But as we know, the performance of LEGO investments comes down to supply and demand, and now that this is the only battle pack retiring, I think there's going to be a lot more supply as investors target this set really heavily. However, because I'm a Star Wars fan, and especially a Clone Army building fan, I'm using my personal feelings to gauge my investment. I like these orange helmets. These troopers look really great in a lineup compared to other clone troopers. I think they're pretty desirable to have in mass. And so once this set is retired, I still think it's going to be desirable even at a premium price. And so that's why I'm going to be purchasing this set for investment. One other interesting thing about the 332nd pack is if we search on Walmart for LEGO Star Wars, this set is the second set to come up, currently being sold on Walmart for $26 by a third-party seller. That means that Walmart itself is out of this set, which leads me to believe that maybe the supply is a lot lower for this set than it is for the 501st Troopers. But I thought it was interesting that this set has been at this price on Walmart for weeks, which means Walmart hasn't been able to get more stock in. That makes me wonder if maybe the production numbers are smaller, and potentially if this set could sell out at all retailers before the end of the year. And set number 7 that's been pushed back is once again Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter 75333, originally scheduled to retire at the end of 2023 with a 17-month shelf life. This set was pushed back to 2024, and it looks like now it's actually been pushed back to 2025, which is hilarious. I'm laughing at myself because I have purchased 11 copies of this set last year before it was extended the first time. Now it's been extended again. And what that tells me is that this set is selling extremely well. We can go on Amazon to confirm this. We can see 5,000 bought in the last month at the $24 price point. If we look at sales rank, this is the 25th best-selling toy building set out of all of them. If we click here, we can see the 100 toy building sets with the highest volume on Amazon. We have the Creator 3-in-1 Dinosaurs at number 1, Cherry Blossoms at number 2, and at number 25, we can see this set is selling really fast. So while the supply is going to be higher from this set being extended and more production runs being created from LEGO directly, at the same time we can see this set selling incredibly fast. So around this time next year, when we're considering 2025 investments, I am going to be looking closely at this set since it is such a strong seller. But for this year, this set is no longer scheduled to retire, and so if you're an investor, I would not be buying any of this set. So why have these sets been pushed back? I have a couple of theories. The obvious answer is that they're selling well for LEGO, and it doesn't make sense for LEGO to retire a product that they're selling by the bucket load. It's worth noting that a LEGO set can take up to 6 to 12 months of design and pre-production before it ever goes out to stores. So that's a lot of R&D budget invested in these sets. Also, if we look at some of the rumored sets for 2024, like the Dark Falcon here, the X-Wing and TIE Fighter with interchangeable wings, and the Jedi Bob Starfighter, these sillier sets from the Rebuild the Galaxy sub-theme are likely going to remain their own little collection. They're not really going to mesh well with mainline sets from the normal LEGO Star Wars playset collection. And so with amazing looking sets like the Ghost and Phantom 2 that we talked about, the Coruscant Guard Gunship, the ATTE, of course, that has already been extended till 2025, and the recently unveiled Playscale Star Destroyer at $160. These are some of the best designed and best looking Star Wars playsets we've ever gotten. I think LEGO Star Wars is really in a golden era for design. And so my interpretation of these new leaks from the Rebuild the Galaxy sub-theme are that LEGO is taking a break from making sets that are so serious and kind of messing around with some silly and frankly really funny ideas like these TIE Fighter X-Wing hybrids. These Rebuild the Galaxy sets are very novel and fun, but I'm not sure they're going to sell as well as realistic, awesome looking sets like the ATTE, the Star Destroyer, the Ghost and Phantom 2, and the Coruscant Gunship. So it actually wouldn't surprise me if some of these August releases from this new sub-theme end up retiring at the end of 2025, along with some of those 5 sets I mentioned. But if you have all these large, over $100 play sets retiring at the end of 2025, there better be some new sets to replace them. And so it wouldn't surprise me if later in 2025, some of these sets get extended again, because I'm not sure LEGO is going to be launching 5 new large-scale playsets like this in 2025 to replace them. And so to support this theory, we have the Yavin 4 Rebel base, an atrociously selling set, way overpriced at $170. Launched in 2023, it is still scheduled to retire at the end of 2024. Walmart has clearanced this set out for 40% off, but this is the flip side of what we just talked about with these 7 sets that are getting extended. They're selling amazingly, and so why would LEGO retire a product that's still selling well and turn over that demand to the secondary market when they could instead keep the production line running, keep printing out copies and copies of that set, and keeping those sales for themselves? So these are my thoughts on the extension of 7 of the most popular LEGO Star Wars sets this year. Hopefully you found this video useful or at least interesting. If you did, give it a thumbs up. We are definitely going to have to do a new tier list since the Star Wars retirement list has changed so much, so I'm already looking forward to that. Those are my thoughts. If you want to leave yours in a comment below, I love to read them. I'll be back in the future with more videos soon.